Hey, welcome back to RV Chef Life. Today you're going to learn how to cook $1 Million Soup. It's a one-pot soup, has 8 ingredients, takes about 30 minutes to make, and you can even speed that up too if you want to actually dirty up 2 dishes. And subscribe if you want to see some more dishes. It only helps my page grow and makes me enjoy what I do more. So sit tight and let's get started. First thing we're going to do is grab our squash. We're going to peel it. We're going to slice it in half and cut the ends off. We're going to de-seed it, and then we're going to chunk it up into smaller chunks. A trick I've learned is that on your peeler, you can actually go forward and back. Who knew? What you want to do next after you have it peeled and de-seeded, you want to cut them up in pretty small chunks. It'll only help the dish cook faster. Grab a bowl and put your chunks in the bowl. On the butternut squash, you're only going to use about 2 cups. So this bowl here is going to be plenty. I used half the squash that I have. My favorite thing about cooking in the kitchen is using a bowl that my granny gave me. She used this for years when I was a kid, so it's a proud moment to always keep using it. She used to make the best meatloaf, but I digress. Let's get back to the meal. Okay, the next thing you're gonna do is grab your favorite sausage. What you're gonna do is exactly what you did on the squash, go in half, and then cut them in about the same size chunks as you did the squash so they'll all cook evenly. Go ahead and put the sausage in the same bowl as the squash. The next stop is the pot. So let me move some things around in these tiny kitchens and let's get started. Okay, go ahead and turn your pot on high. Get the sausage down in there first. Don't add any oil because there's going to be plenty of oil from the sausage that renders down. Then put the squash on top. Let it cook for a couple minutes. Go ahead and stir and keep this process up until your squash is fork tender. Okay, while we wait for that sausage to cook and render down so we can stir it, we're going to go ahead and chop up 1 onion and 4 ribs of celery. I can smell that sausage, so let's go ahead and get it stirring. Also, another tip, go ahead and get a lid for your pot. Keep those flavors simmering in there, they'll cook faster. While we wait for that to cook, we're going to go ahead and empty our beans and go ahead and rinse them off. Now once the squash is fork tender, you'll go ahead and grab that bowl I was talking about earlier. And you're going to go ahead and pour your pot contents in the bowl and reserve it to the side. Make sure you get all the bits out. Once that's reserved to the side, you're going to go ahead and take 5 strips of bacon, cut them in half, put them in the same pot you were cooking everything else in, render those down until they're crispy, and then pull them out and set them aside. If you want to add an extra strip of bacon, I won't tell anybody. Once your bacon's rendered down, go ahead and put it in the bowl that you have your squash and sausage in. But leave the bacon fat in the pot. Once you've taken the bacon out of your pot and put it with the squash and sausage, you're going to add the onions and celeries to the pot. Right when you put it in, you're going to go ahead and stir it up quick and get all those pieces coated in bacon fat. You caught me snagging a piece of bacon. Once those have cooked down a little bit, what you're going to do is add 3 tablespoons of garlic to it. Once you start smelling the cooking garlic, you're going to add 3 tablespoons of butter and 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And we'll need all of this fat to make a roux. Once your butter's melted down, go ahead and grab 3 tablespoons or 4 of flour and put in the mix. Go ahead and stir continuously as to not burn the flour. And we don't want to cook it that long, but we just want to cook out the raw flour taste. Once we know that flour's cooked down and the roux is almost complete, we're going to add 6 cups of chicken stock. Once you get that chicken stock in there, go ahead and do a light stir to loosen up that roux. Turn your pot on high and go ahead and put your lid on and bring it to a quick boil. Once your pot has come to a boil, what you're going to do is remove the lid. You're going to dump in the squash and sausage and bacon. Be careful. Stir it all up and put your lid back on and simmer. Oh, also don't forget to add your beans. While we wait for that to come back to a simmer, what you're going to do is grab your kale. You're going to remove the hard stems and de-rib them, and you're just going to rough chop them, leave them to the side. Once you've come to a simmer and simmered for about 5 minutes, you can go ahead and add your kale and do one final stir. The easiest way to do this is fold your kale in half and then just unzip it. Now the pot has come back to a simmer, so you're going to open the lid and slide that kale right in. I know it seems like a lot, but it'll cook down. Go ahead and stir that in. All right, now you're all done. All you need to do is grab your ladle, a bowl, a spoon, and it's time for you to take a taste test. All right, your taste test starts now. The colors are vibrant. I bet the flavors are just as good. Now be careful, it's gonna be hot. You get the squash flavor, the sausage and bacon, of course. That kale adds a little crispiness to it. It's great for a cold night. The flavor's great. Now, the only thing you need to do is serve up some more. Pass that recipe along. Please like and share and subscribe to the channel. It's only continuing to grow. Cooking in small spaces isn't that big of a deal. You just kind of have to shuffle things around. If you don't like this recipe, there's others to take a look at. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you on the next time.